Hey guys, this is Wolf Hoffman from Accept, and you're watching CMS TV. Meta.
But my time is going to be even more limited. I announced last week that I was taking people who wanted to do a sample life coaching session, and I got
Right.
quite an overwhelming response, and I hit everybody back. I sent
Okay.
an email back to everyone, and let them know that I'm going to be doing this over the next few weeks, and we'll
Okay.
get you lined up and get you into a session. And,
Nice.
I still have room for more. So if
Okay.
anybody out there wants to do a sample life coach session with me, I set up an email address, just to field those emails.
Okay.
So the new email address is a Gmail address. I have an official email that I haven't launched yet, but I'll, incorporate that once I engage you into building the website. But
Right.
the current email, if you're interested and you want to, hit me up for a session, is winningwithwendell@gmail.com.
Oh, at gmail.com. Got my arm.
Yep. So I got room for more.
Right.
I like I said, I've reached out to everybody who hit me up through the week, and we'll get everybody hooked up, and we'll do a session together. And if it's something that maybe catches your interest and it's something that you feel is valuable to you, then we can talk about you becoming an actual client. So
There you go.
but if you're just interested in doing a sample session, it won't cost you a thing.
There you
And
go.
we'll do a half hour to an hour, and we'll see how it goes. So
Okay. There it is on the bottom of the screen.
there you go. There you are. So just hit me up at that email address, and I'll reach back to you, and we'll get you set up for that. So
Okay.
appreciate everybody who has reached out so far, and I will get you all scheduled in. I believe I got everybody back. So if you reached out and you didn't hear from me, hit me up again. But I don't think I missed anybody there, because I did get quite a few emails, and
Right.
people reached out to us through the locals. The CMS page. So
Right.
and Chris forwarded those to me as well. So very good. So anyway, enough about that. The sessions are going. The schooling is going well, and it's
That's
moving
good.
along. And so everybody who's participating with me, I appreciate you helping me along.
There you go. Cool.
Yeah. So what else aside from your achy breaky arm over there is going on with you? Anything good? Anything interesting happening?
Nothing interesting. I haven't fucking left bed. I've been literally in bed, other than walking around my house once an hour or two to shake the blood loose so that I don't fucking blood clot up and die.
Sure.
Other than doing that, it's just laying in bed doing work. I mean, I have been doing as much work as I can possibly do, and I'm still scoring clients again. I got to tell you a funny story, and I hope he's not going to be mad that I tell this one, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. So I get a call, or I got an email last Sunday from a guy, and he's like, yeah, I'm interested in doing a website and then a second website, and this is what it's about, and blah blah blah, right? So I'm like, okay, cool, and I was just like, okay, that's cool. So I call him on Monday, and I said, I said to the guy, I said, hey, I got your message. What are you looking to do? Just total business conversations for a web job.
Right. Sure.
And so the guy tells me, well, I'm a mathematician, and I do this and I do that, and I need a website. This is my old website, and this is this is that. I need to get this redone, and then I need to develop one for a business. And and in the middle of the conversation, he says, I know you're a busy guy with all the things you do, but do you think you'll have time to work this in? So now I'm thinking, all right, this is a radio guy, somebody that knows me from here.
Okay.
So we get to the end of the discussion. It's the total discussion. We quote a price. We talk about timelines, how it works, blah, blah, blah. Get to the end. And I said, well, how did you find me anyway? You know, and I was, because I was curious. He goes, dude, it's Mean Metal X. I had no idea.
Why didn't he identify himself?
He just he gave me his real name. I didn't know his real name. I never knew his real name. And I'm not going to say it here in case he doesn't want it here, but you know, he has a pretty distinct name. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, of course.
And we've known Mean Metal X for 20 fucking years, right?
At least 20 years.
I never knew his real name. I only knew him as Mean Metal X.
Right.
And I'm talking to this guy and I'm like, man, I know this voice.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard this guy before. He's somebody that listens to the CMS because he knew that I do a bunch of different projects. So I just was like, wow. All right. So then he's like, you know, then at the end, he's like, okay, man, hail and kill. Fuck you, pal. You know, I was like, all right, now I get it. But
yeah, there's another guy who jumped in as a very young fella, young age.
Yeah.
In his teen years when he discovered the CMS, and now he's in his, you know, adult years. He's still with us after all these years, you know.
Yeah.
You know, he's been with us quite a while.
But isn't that crazy that I literally, we've known this cat for 20 years and I didn't know his name.
In fact, he's part of our sign off on the show at the end of the show. And at the end of the show, he goes, "Ta-ta, cats."
Yeah. I know, it's so funny, and yet did not have a single clue that was him.
Oh, very good. Hey, good on him and good on you. A local boy does good.
Yeah, and he's doing great stuff. I mean, my goodness. He's way too smart to be listening to us.
He loves his metal, man. I just remember seeing him come out to shows, and man, he used to just headbang like a son of a bitch whenever he saw him. You know, he'd be. I remember specifically when there was. I think this was back in 2002. Yeah, it was 2002. It was. I believe it was the Metal Edge tour, if I'm not mistaken, and it was. LA Guns, I think it was Rat, Firehouse, Dokken, and Warrant.
Okay.
And Mean Metal X had come out to the show, and they had the show at the I believe it was at the Hoover Stadium down in Canton, North Canton.
Okay.
I think that's where it was. I just remember it was in North Canton. And man, he was up in the stands. He had this long moppy hair, and he was just up there banging his head.
Nice.
The whole time, you know, just enjoying himself. So yeah, that guy loves his metal and loves his music, and you know, I still think he does.
Yeah, he definitely still does, and he loves the show, and you know, loves what we do. So you know, I was just like, wow, I can't believe what an idiot I am that I just didn't know this guy that's been with us forever.
Sure. Well, he didn't tell you who he was. He didn't introduce. Well, he told you his name, right?
Yeah, he told me his name. I didn't know.
I didn't know that. You know, I should I make the bill out to Mean Metal X, or should I make it out to your name?
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of trippy that I just had no clue.
So what is his website? meanmetalx.com?
No, I'm not going to say what it is.
I know. I'm just making a joke.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I know nothing about mathematician stuff. You know, I was looking at the website. I'm looking at some of the, like, there's like formulas and shit on the website. I'm like, oof, okay, this guy's way smarter than this show.
Oh, yeah. He's smarter than the average bear.
That's right. He certainly is.
The only thing I know about mathematicians about when they get constipated, you know what they do?
What's that?
They work it out with their pencil.
But
exactly. It's just stupid dad jokes,
right? Is that joke book your dad handed down to you?
Yeah. Well, speaking of my dad, he's going to be celebrating his 93rd birthday next week.
Good for him.
Yeah, 93.
He got it all in plus like 10, 15 more.
Yep.
Good on him.
Yeah.
How's his health? Good?
Yeah, he's good. Still gets around, seems to be okay.
That's cool.
I try to call him every other week if not more often, just check in and keep him up to date with what I'm doing. But again, as concerned fathers, old school fathers are about, steady paychecks and, making a living and doing responsible things and whatever.
Right.
When I had told him a few weeks ago, a month or two ago, I told him that I was taking life coaching classes. He goes,
sure.
What is it? I said, life coaching classes. I'm going to be a life coach. You're not going to quit your job, are you? Instead of saying, hey, good for you, or glad you're expanding your horizons, anything like that, the first thing is, you're not going to quit your job.
Hey, stupid, don't do nothing stupid. It's like a Howard Stern thing.
Exactly. So I just thought that was funny that was the first thing he thought of is, you're not going to quit your job, are you?
Yeah, Dad, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go broke so that I can fucking tell people that they're stupid online. That's what I'll do.
So funny. But yeah, he's doing well. And, he's got, he had a checkup here recently. At least my sister told me, and they, did all his vitals and everything. And they said he was just as healthy as can be. They said his lungs were good, his blood pressure was good, his cholesterol was good, his heart was strong. So
that's good.
He goes, yeah, he's going to live to be over 100.
Look at him. How crazy is that? He doesn't have that far to go.
Yeah, no kidding.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So he's closing in on it. So good for him.
Exactly. So, I'll be sending him a card or something to try to celebrate the day.
Does he want to get to 100? I mean, has he like expressed that? Like, hey, I want to make it to 100 now?
I don't know that he has a goal like that. I just think he lives day to day. Whatever the day brings, that's where he's at. He lives in the moment.
Yeah, cause I'm always just curious as people get older. Like, Wednesday's my mom's 75th birthday, and I already hear her saying, I got to make it to 85. She's talking 10 years up. And I'm like, okay, I see that as the goal, and it's like, I'm just curious if when you get to 95, if that 100, since it is, not a lot of people get to that one, I mean, it's really very few get to 100.
Yeah. Well, I take that back. He is 93 and he's going to be 94.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's going to be 94. So
6 years. Good. Like that.
Yeah. So you never know.
He'll cruise in. Let's just look. If I have any hope for your dad, it's that he doesn't do a Betty White and die like a week before the 100.
Yeah, no kidding. Before the big one.
Get to the 100. Get to the 100 in a day at least.
Yeah, I know his grandmother, his father's mother, she lived to 101.
Wow.
And let's see here. His mother, I believe she made it to 96. And his sister passed away a year or so ago, and she was a couple years older than him, and I think she was around 96 as well. So,
yeah. And I just don't know that I would even want to be that old. Would you?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it, to be honest with you. I'm just, the more that I see what's going on, and maybe Mikey and I can discuss this, in the next segment. Whoop, I just gave it away.
Whoops.
But this, I was watching Anthony Cumia say, and they were talking about this new artificial intelligence, this AI that's coming, and how all the people are being mimicked and changed, and their voices are being duplicated, and the videos are being duplicated. And they were showing that there's this service now that they're offering the service to like radio and broadcast companies to where you don't even need people anymore. They have an AI system that will program your whole radio station and do all the voiceover work and have live hosts and stuff, but they're all AI people. They're all AI.
Dude, AI while I use it, and I'll be happy to share how I use it, it is absolutely scary
It
how
is.
many people it's going to put out of work.
It is. Well, it's not only that, but here's what Anthony Cumia was talking about, that with this AI and people being canceled for things that they say now, with, oh, you said this and you said that, and it's like, well, that wasn't me, that was an AI program.
Yeah.
Somebody did this, that, and the other. He was talking, what this will do is this will lead into well, you need to somehow verify this is actually you. And they're talking about, oh, well, we need to chip everybody now.
Chip everybody. Yeah, I know.
And,
fuck you. Not doing that.
It's like, well, to show who you are, we need to verify you. And so we need to chip you to make sure that you're who you say you are and you're not this AI thing, I mean, it's like a forcible thing. It's like forcing you. Like we go to be in a cashless society. Like, I'm a cash guy. And well, nobody takes cash anymore. That's just going to force me to have to go to digital currency. Well, you're going to have to do this.
Yeah.
Because we're going to take any means away from you from being able to do anything other than this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, it's absolute. The AI is scary. The speed that it is growing is absolutely frightening. It's like, our buddy Drew and Dave Ellison, the Lucid.
Yeah.
They put out that Faith No More kind of song that they did with Violent J from ICP called Sweet Tooth.
Okay.
And I had Drew on Chrysaca Presents at one point, and I asked him, I said, who did the cover art? It's really cool. And he said, oh, AI. And I was like, what do you mean AI? And he's like, yeah, I put in Scary Bear Violent J and it made it. and it's like, holy shit, he did it in like a second. I'm trying to find it right now. Let's see. The Lucid. Man, I can't type for shit with this fucking arm.
Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hail and kill, boys. I'm just ringing in to talk about this AI stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're on topic, Tim.
Yeah, we were just learning about this. I'm 2 months away from finishing my bachelor's degree at the Australian Institute of Music. I've got 2 subjects to go, and I was in my Comp 6 class this week, and we were just talking about all this. Apparently, they said it's nothing new, though. It's been around for about 50 years, and but they were saying that everyone's kind of like, well, in the music world, everyone's kind of like, oh, but this is going to be the end of our jobs, and this is going to be the end of songwriting, and it's going to be the end of this and the end of that. But they did say that, were calculators the end of, adding up things in your head, and they used lots of situations like that. And I was just wondering what your guys' take on it is.
I think it's going to end a lot of careers. I don't know necessarily about music or not, because the one thing it can't do with music is put soul to it, but it could definitely create like industrial stuff. I've heard some songs that are completely done by computers, by AI, and they're not terrible. They're really not that bad. So, it could. It's certainly, when I show this picture from art that was done by somebody, by our friend Drew, who definitely is not a computer dork. I mean, he can find his way around a computer, but he's not a computer dork. And he said he did this in like 5 minutes just by putting in a kind of a description. And I'll explain further even how I use it, because I use it now all the time on the descriptions for the CMS and Chrysaca Presents episodes. I don't write descriptions anymore. I just type in I write something like, type an aggressive YouTube description based on these points. Boop, 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 boop. 3 points, and then it comes back with the descriptions. It's crazy. It's going to put a lot of people out of work, man.
Well, my lecturers were kind of saying that they thought it would mainly hurt like the big guys, hurt the major pop stars of this world. That's what they were saying. I mean, they thought it would mainly kind of, if you're a major artist signed with a major record deal, and you're in the pop world, then it would really affect you. Whereas the grassroots guys, it wouldn't affect that much.
It could. I mean, look, it just depends on how well it's adopted. I mean, the only thing that, and again, I'm guessing here, I don't know, but I think the only thing that'll save the pop world or the rock world or whatever, the music world, is we've seen with things like Milli Vanilli and whatnot, that once it's exposed as not being real, then people do not want to fucking support it. So, you know, if it's something that some asshole's done on a computer, how willing are people going to be to listen to it and truly support it, get behind it?
But people support auto-tune, and that's completely fake.
But it's real people doing fake voices. At least the real person is there. If it's just if you can't see it, and you know, I mean, it's going to be hard to distinguish who's what too. You know, I mean, are you gonna have a band called X and have programmers that just make music that sounds just like a certain algorithm to create licensing, you know, to create your Nickelback or Guns N' Roses? You know, I mean, what separates it? Look, the music business is dead anyway. It doesn't matter. Quite honestly, the small bands are not going to be affected because they're not making any money now. There's no money to steal from them.
I just hope they don't take money away from music publishing, because that's hopefully where my future's going to be. Because
that is going to be that's the scary thing, though, isn't it?
Everything's gone.
That's the scary thing of, you know, how are you going to prove that you wrote this versus having a computer? You know, AI is free. You could literally go out to an AI program right now and say, write me a 4-minute song with 300 words of lyrics based on broken heart because my dog died. And it'll shit you out a song. You know, so if it shits you out that song, if it shits you out those lyrics in that song, whose property is it? Is it your property? Is it the computer company's property? Whose property is it truly? Whose rights is it?
Yeah, but we did that. We did that as an experiment on during the week, and the lyrics on that chatbot thing, they were terrible. They were awful.
Yeah, that's now, Tim. It's still brand new to the public. It's only going to get better. Didn't you see the Terminator?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And just for the record, I saw George on Friday night at Striper, and Striper absolutely kicked ass. They were awesome.
All right.
So,
good.
Yeah. All right, but George from the Classic Metal Show, not Brian.
Oh, nice.
Hail and kill.
Hail and
all right, now beat it.
All right, there he goes.
All right, here's Drew's. He did this in 5 minutes with AI.
Wow, look at that. Looks like a panda that's all fucking...
Yeah, it's a violent J panda.
Yeah, it's an angry panda.
Yeah, with weird teeth. Sweet tooth. But he did this in 5 minutes.
Right.
With an AI program.
Sure.
How much? I mean, just guessing. Realistically, not a big band, not a huge band, but a mid-sized band. I mean, obviously David Ellefson has a Grammy, for fuck's sake. How much would they pay an artist to do this? A grand or two?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, and instead Drew put it into a program and said, "Here, give me this, and this. Put it all together and make me a picture." And that's what it shit out.
Oh,
that's scary, dude.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's really kind of scary to think that that's one industry that could be gone. And like I said, I use it on every description that I do now for the CMS that Chris Aiken presents, because it's just...
I know you shared that with me.
Yeah, well, it's just easier. And I mean, they read more compelling. You know, I literally tell the thing, write me a compelling description.
Mm-hmm.
Give me something that might gather a hook. Give me something that might gain subscribers or whatnot. And the crazy thing is, even on our Rumble thing, we've added, since I started doing it, we've added like 100 subscribers to Rumble.
Right.
just from the only change I made was I'm using AI to write the descriptions now instead of me writing them myself. And Lord knows it's not like I need anything to write for me. I've fucking written 6 books.
And
I know how to write.
Magazines and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know how to write, but this is super easy.
Right, of course.
So
You're just encouraging it, man. You're just feeding the machine. That's what you're doing, man.
I am. It's scary. I don't like it, but well, and it's like I did a demo on Seth Williams' show because they wanted to see the AI. The craziest thing, and I shouldn't even share this because it put me out of business, but you can literally give some instructions. You could say, code me a website that has this, and this, and it'll shit you out the HTML code. Just on the spot, it'll do it.
Right.
It'll just write all the code for you.
Yeah, some crazy shit, man.
It is.
But Kumia was playing a video that was it was an AI person advertising the service.
Oh yeah.
They have they were saying that they could design an AI person to be like a news broadcaster or face of your radio station or whatever to host your morning show and all this, that, the other. And it would have a discussion among itself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's just crazy. And if there was, say, like breaking news, they could just insert that in and it would just update and insert the information right there live. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's coming so fast. And it's just I use a couple of different AI programs now. Like I use some for audio reads too, where it just does the read for me. Like this is not a good one. Here, I'll pull one up real quick. This is not a this is funny. So I have 2 programs that I have, Speechalo and Scriptalo.
Okay.
And on Scriptalo, it'll write an advertising script. And then you can copy and paste that into Speechalo and it'll read it for you. And it has a list of like 70 voices that you can use. So I did, and this is not a good one. I didn't really spend a lot of time on it yet. I haven't figured quite out yet how to do the inflections on the voices. But I did this video in this is almost completely an AI in I don't know, I did it in like 20 minutes from writing the script to spitting out the audio to putting the video together. I just did it all with AI. So check this out.
All right.
This is for one of our advertisers, Appy Pie.
Okay.
Here we go.
Stop whatever you're doing and let Appy Pie develop your mobile app in about 5 minutes. If you can visit mobileapp.cmspn.com to get started, you will get a mobile app for iOS or Android for your product or service built without any coding knowledge. The problem is that in order to get more traffic, you have to pay more money and spend far more time creating your mobile app. But don't worry. There is a better way. Let Appy Pie build your app for you today. Visit mobileapp.cmspn.com now to get started.
And that's it.
That's it. And it's like a real person's voice. And it's not somebody actually voicing that.
No.
It's an AI track doing that.
Yeah, it's something that I copied and pasted into a program and said, here, shit out an MP3. And it did. And then I just attached it to the video.
Yeah, did you say shit out an MP3?
It pretty much it did, yeah.
AI, shit out an MP3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's coming so fast. And people are going to be very disappointed when they lose their entry-level gigs. People that are like data entry people or whatever, that shit's going to go away.
Yeah.
Because you'll just buy an AI program. You'll just say, here AI, here's 50,000 pages of spreadsheets. Digitize this. And it'll go, vroot, 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 and it'll be done with no cost. So, scary days, my friend.